talking about work life. I mean,
Mhm.
we all do that. Myself and Morgan, we stepped out of a corporate leadership role to welcome to Behind the Frame, where we go beyond the LinkedIn bios and Instagram highlight reels to talk about what really happens when you're building something from scratch. I'm Jay Duffy, co-founder of Frame Wealth Partners, business owner, husband, dad, and guy who still wonders if winging it counts as a legitimate growth strategy. Spoiler, it does sometimes. Join me and my amazing co-hosts, Morgan Watson and Annette Quigley, as we sit down with someone who's built a business or is knee-deep in the messy middle of it. And we talk about the real stuff, the pivots, the late nights, the wins no one celebrated, and the lessons no one warned them about. So grab a coffee or something stronger. We're going behind the frame. Welcome to the Behind the Frame podcast, where we get to interview some of the best and brightest business owners in the Mid-Atlantic region. I'm here with my co-host, Morgan Watson. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to be here.
So let's kick it off. We're going to start our ritual, weekend wins.
Absolutely.
What does that look like for you?
So I think it was more the accidental wisdom side of it.
Okay.
So my wife signed me up to cook barbecue for about 50 people this weekend for the 4th. I'm like, okay, great. I'll get it done. I'll do it over the weekend. Everything will be fine. So buy 40 pounds of pulled pork, have it marinating. And then I find out she doesn't feel like if I cook it Saturday, it'll be ready by Friday. I should wait till later in the week. Problem is I can't have it sit there that long. So I spent 24 hours this weekend smoking 40 pounds of beef or pulled pork to give to all our neighbors. Wednesday night, I get to do it again. So I decided early that was not a hill I was going to die on. So
You realize I'm your partner. You could have brought some pork to the
it's
office.
coming.
It's okay.
We've got it in every part of the freezers we have, so it's not a problem. But I decided I was not going to die on that mountain. Yes, honey, you're right. I'll just do it a second time.
Okay. Okay.
How about you? How was yours?
Well, I turned 33 for the 10th time. It was my birthday on Sunday. So I had an enjoyable weekend. One of my good friends invited me down to the number one golf course in the state of Virginia.
Nice.
And I got a chance to play. Saw a little too much of the course, unfortunately. I came back needing therapy. Probably, I've already talked to my guy. I got to get new golf clubs, redo the swing, everything.
It's obviously the club's fault.
Obviously, it's never the carpenter, it's the tool.
Oh, absolutely.
So I got to get that checked out. But needless to say, we got an awesome guest today.
We do. We have Mariela D'Alessio of D'Alessio Law. And, as Jay mentioned earlier, part of the focus of our podcast is we've had the opportunity to work with a lot of successful people over the years. And we tend to find that most successful people have had access to great mentors. What we find is a lot of up and coming entrepreneurs don't have the access or don't know where to find those mentors. So a big part of this podcast is to bring mentorship out to the public in a place they can go to find out what it's like to be a business owner. So Mariel, I know you started in the corporate side of law. It's a big firm, now gone out on your own, and really want to talk to you a little bit about kind of that transition, what it took and what was the mindset to become a successful business owner, not just a successful attorney.
Yeah, well, thank you guys first off for having me on your show. I appreciate it. Um, so I made the decision. I was just in a very different station in my life than my partners that were a little bit older than me, and having my first child in 2020. Everybody always says when you have a child, it changes everything. And I was just, you're used to being an attorney out of law school and it's the grind, right? That's what you grind to become a partner and you push, you push, you push. But it really did change everything for me and put things into a different perspective. And so I needed to find that work-life balance of, not missing my child's, childhood essentially because I was working my life away. So, I started strategically planning, thinking what it was going to look like, how I really wanted to envision the brand of my firm, remarketing it really as an estates and trust boutique firm. We were thankful enough to have some capital that we didn't have to borrow money from anybody to be able to get that startup cost. And, you just hit the floor and you run, right?
Yeah.
You're good at what you're good at and you figure out what you're not pretty quick on and you pivot and you keep moving forward.
Let me get this straight. 2020, you're having a child.
Yes,
That's also COVID,
correct.
and you're deciding to start your own practice, leaving a firm that you probably have some safety in. how did you decide that?
More importantly, you're still married. Everyone didn't jump off the ship as you were making all these decisions.
Yeah, well, I think that my husband is the biggest supporter and the advocate to allow me to actually take this jump, and he probably would have wanted me to do it sooner. But having the child and with COVID, I didn't have the village that everybody says when you have a kid. Being in the pandemic, it was a unique circumstance, and so it gave me a lot of time to really kind of envision 5 years from now how I saw my life both professionally and personally, and that was really the catalyst to make the decision that, this might be the best move for me and my family. Um, Nothing to do with the prior firm. I was partners and worked with a great group of people. It's just I was a different station in my life, and there's expectations that I had from me from the firm, and
Yep.
more importantly, what I put on myself. And so the only thing that I felt to be able to be fair to everybody was to remove myself from the equation, let the firm keep doing what they're doing, and then just need to do my own thing.
Question. Do you think COVID helped that decision happen quicker? Because as you said, you're kind of out on an island, like, all right, this is what it's like in the future. I'm ready to take that jump, or were you pretty much down that path already?
No, I think COVID was the catalyst to make me really consider, like, do I want to keep grinding to the extent that I am, or do I want to really revisit and have a more balanced work life? And so that was really something that kind of pushed me to start thinking that this might be the most viable option for me and my family.
So talking about work life, I mean,
Mhm.
we all do that. We myself and Morgan, we stepped out of a corporate leadership role to build our business as well. And how is work life balance now that you're the business owner, though?
Mhm.
Well, you don't actually get to shut off as much as you think you get to shut off.
Absolutely.
But I will say that I work smarter, I don't work harder. I'm not working the same amount of hours that I was working previously,
Right.
and honestly, I have an incredible team that I wouldn't be able to be as successful as I am without them.
Right.
So it's really having the good people on the team with you to be able to allow you to kind of take that step back. And I think the biggest thing for me that I learned as a business owner is that there's a difference between being an attorney and being a business owner.
Absolutely.
And I have relied a lot on my financial friends to help me with guidance of the financial component that, I'm just focused on the law and how that looks for my clients and providing excellent legal services. But I needed to rely and realize it's okay to ask for help from the business side. And so that's kind of what allowed me to continue to grow and continue to grow the practice to what it is now.
Yeah, that's great because we want to dig into that quite a bit, but just little back step. So, for those who don't know, we've known you not only personally but professionally for quite a few years. You have a tremendous estate practice, doing estate planning law. We've relied on you for a lot of our clients, both personally and for our clients. Let me ask you, when you first, when did you know you wanted to be an attorney?
So probably in high school when I was writing my senior thesis on some pretty prominent serial killers, I wanted to be in the FBI, and there's was a fast track with the FBI. It used to be exclusively CPAs and attorneys. It just puts you in a higher tier.
We're in Baltimore here, so and Baltimore's all about high school. So was this C. Milton Wright?
It was C. Milton
All right,
Wright.
shout out to C. Milton Wright.
Mustang, yep,
Mustang,
go
all right.
Mustangs. Yes, and so that was kind of the catalyst of me wanting to pursue something within the legal profession.
Okay.
And then when I went to undergrad, I went to Julie, which is now Stevenson University. My basically was pre-law or paralegal studies, and so that kind of framed my, no pun intended, uh, my path to the legal profession.
Yes.
Now, within the legal profession, when did you make the switch to kind of concentrating on estate planning as opposed to litigation or something else?
Sure. Most of my friends do litigation, and I'll think personality wise that would be a better fit for me. But when I graduated from Julie and I started working at a law firm, I worked for an attorney in Towson. And so I did a lot of paralegal work, and I really enjoyed the estates and trust practice that he had. So that kind of really just focused me on this is what I enjoy doing. I said had some exposure to litigation, but it just wasn't really something that I found interesting.
I I'm gonna ask more of a personal question, just
Sure.
off topic. Attorney, married.
Mhm.
I know Joey's a great guy.
Yes.
Does he win any battle?
Yeah, he does. But honestly,
Do you let him win?
Build his confidence up. Yeah, he's got to win 1 out of 10.
he's very laid back. He's kind of my woosah. I'm the high strung, anxiety, stressed out one, and he's kind of my calming
I've got one of those.
rock.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Awesome.
Let me ask you, making that switch from attorney to business owner, what were some of the first kind of eye-opening moments that you're like, wait a minute, this is not quite what I expected?
Payroll and payroll taxes, quarterly tax payments, not really all the things that I was expecting. So really just trying to figure out the budgeting and financing and projecting out what that looks like, whether I was capable of bringing on another person, whether it's part-time or full-time. So really just kind of looking behind the scenes at the budgeting component of, yeah, you got this. There's income coming in. Stop stressing. I'm always told I have too much sitting in the business account, but I just like that little safety net just for my own personal sake that it's there if I need it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas we see with business owners when they first start out is understanding this is the skill set I'm great at. But now then I've got these other components we have to take care of. And is that something I need to either learn how to do? Do I farm that out somewhere else? And where's that balance? Because often that mindset for business owners is I'm going to handle it all.
Sure.
But often that's not, what's best for the business, quite frankly.
And I agree with that. I think that one of the biggest struggles that I have and that I've always had is delegation. But becoming a business owner, I realized from a bookkeeping standpoint, there's a lot of ins and outs specifically with the type of law that I do. And it didn't make sense. Everything I look at now from an economical standpoint. This is my hourly rate. Does it make sense for me to do it or should somebody else be doing it? So I think I've come leaps and bounds from when I started the firm to where I am now, where, yes, if I can outsource and delegate, I'm going to do that.
So
as
the
well as
whole
possible.
odd hell.
Correct.
I like that.
Correct.
I really like that. I really like that. So, how long is the new business? Because you've been in law for quite some time now. How long has the new business been around? Because I saw that you are a super lawyer.
Yep.
Or so does that come with a cape?
It does.
You got recognized super lawyers since I think you're a rising super lawyer, but super lawyer for 2023, 24, and this year.
You have to be practicing for like a decade before you graduate from a rising star to a super lawyer.
Gotcha.
So I hit the threshold from the amount of years practicing that I can officially wear my cape as a super lawyer.
There you go.
But
Your handshake.
yeah, exactly. The law firm I effectively started December of 2022. So, we're still just a few years in, but I've been practicing since 2011 and again, a paralegal before that.
So with that being said, what does your vision look like? What, do you see you scaling this business to a behemoth, like the firm you came from, or do you see yourself staying small and nimble?
Yeah. So it's interesting because if you want to grow, you have to obviously go a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So one of the things that I find most important for my practice is the relationship that I have with my clients. So I never want to get to the point that I'm too big that I don't know my clients on the personal level like I do now. I'm sitting and signing appointments with clients, right? As opposed to delegating that to someone else. I like to have the conversation and be in contact with clients. So I do have something that I can't publicly obviously comment on yet, but I am taking over the practice for, a colleague that has decided to kind of pivot a little bit in his career. So
Nice.
that's going to be something where Delesio Law will be expanding. And there's a few other opportunities. The estates and trust practice is very small knit, so we all know each other. And there's a lot of solo practitioners that are starting to get a little bit older. And so my intention would be to be a landing spot for some of those, attorneys that do want to retire and make sure that their clients are being handed off to someone that they're comfortable with that will take care of them as well.
So you see a lot of your scaling coming through acquisition.
That's my plan. Yeah, that's ultimately what the intent is to grow. I'm blessed that I don't actually market. Like most of my business is referral based. I try to treat every client like they're my only client, and then they talk about you and that's how it keeps coming in. The phone doesn't stop ringing and emails. So it's good. It's a good problem to have.
Absolutely. So, Mariella, I always like asking from a motivational standpoint, being a business owner, there are certainly days where it's just, like a grind.
Yes.
And there's days where it's like, man, I love this. How, what do you do to stay motivated? What do do you read books, on growing the business? What is it for you? What keeps you fresh?
Yeah. So I'm not really one of those motivational book readers. I'm very much into my, crime, mystery, that sort of thing. Um, to keep myself energized about it, it's just, when you bring a big client in and taking care of them and seeing the peace of mind that they get that these affairs are it's been on their to-do list for years. I just had a client yesterday, like literally high-fiving each other that, we were trying to do this for years and now it's done. And so that motivates me to see that I'm giving my clients and they're walking out of my office with peace of mind. That's like, okay, I need to get out there. I need to educate more people because there's so much misinformation out there on the internet, specifically tied to estate planning. So that motivates me is to just to try to get out in the community, with outreach, educating clients so that they talk to their friends and opportunities like this where it's just people can learn a little bit more information about it.
You see yourself ever writing a book?
No, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
A little, maybe start with a pamphlet or a booklet. Then we'll graduate. Yeah. Baby steps is right. Yeah. Because the law is so fluid.
If we have another COVID, you're going to have a 3-part series.
That's right. That's right. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But your tongue, Morgan.
Yeah, no kidding. As you made the transition from attorney to business owner,
Yes.
obviously you talked about the things you didn't know. What was one of the biggest wins when it came to you made a business choice, not knowing quite how much that impact would be, and as you look back, all right, that was a big turning point. That was a big changer for me.
Two things. One would be my senior paralegal joining me at the new firm.
Okay.
He is an invaluable resource. Delesio Law does not exist without him. So shout out to Rich. Second would be office location. So previously I was based in Towson. Parking wasn't great, congestion. And moving to Hunt Valley, which is really the financial district of the area, there's not a lot of attorneys here. And I just found a really awesome, space and clients love it. It's easy location in and out. Parking is ample. I do have some clients that are a bit elderly, so having convenient parking for clients was huge. And I think that was the biggest thing that clients really enjoy is like, oh, you're in Hunt Valley. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to Towson anymore and the Circle and all that other fun stuff. So
On the other side of it, any choices you make that looking back, wow, that one slowed me down, or that one I had to recover from?
I don't think so.
Good.
I have not really hit any road bumps. So, I mean, I think I did enough with my strategic planning in advance that there hasn't been anything that's been like, oh, I should have done things differently, other than maybe we ordered some pens and I didn't like the thickness of them. If that's the worst decision, then it's a good day.
Yeah, Nick Jody.
How, with obviously the introduction of AI into this, how is this impacting your business?
It's not, just because LegalZoom's been around as well too. So that's still a version, an earlier version of an automated, and I have clients that do LegalZoom and they come to me and then I'm fixing it, or I'm dealing with LegalZoom where there's a will and then I'm administering an estate and it's costing way more than it needs to because LegalZoom is not, the answer. Now, don't get me wrong, in a pinch, when you don't have the opportunity to get in front of an attorney, something is better than nothing. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But it's worth it to have a live interaction and very much a relationship with your attorney, to get the one-on-one and a customized estate plan, not just some random default, will or product that's being pushed out.
Right.
And I think as much as AI is interactive and it's growing and it's everywhere, I don't think it's going to be something that takes away my particular practice just because it is so much relationship based.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we see that a lot. There's, the internet is great, but we always say there's a big difference between information and knowledge, and even a bigger difference between knowledge and expertise. And when it comes to things so important as estate planning, finances, whatever it may be, it's you really need to fall on that side of expertise much more so than just taking information and hoping it works out well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's been months now, but there was some sort of case up in New York where an attorney used AI to help with his case. And then it turns out that the case wasn't actually real.
Yep.
Like AI
Case, yeah.
created
I read that.
case law.
It made it up. Yep.
Yeah, because like that helped his case to win it, but it was completely erroneous, didn't even exist in actuality. So it's like I don't see AI completely taking over the legal profession, at least not for a long
How
time.
about taking over the world?
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying, right?
Yeah, you see some of those videos, the things that they're doing. It's like I'm not ready for that.
All right, so we're gonna pivot here for a second. We're gonna go to our hot or not lightning round,
Okay.
and so we're just gonna ask a few questions. Actually, we'll ask a bunch of questions here. Everything from business and entrepreneurship, money and finance, and you tell us hot or not. You ready?
Mhm.
First and foremost, because I know you're from New York, Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, hiring friends or family, hot or not?
Not.
Working from home in pajamas.
Hot.
Hot.
Okay.
It's funny. We get a lot of different opinions on that one.
Mhm.
Like for me, I can't work. I got 3 kids. Going home and working is a great idea. Never happens.
Sure.
So I have to come into the office if I want to get something to work. Jay, much more disciplined than I am. He can go home and work, get it all done.
Well, there's a lot of yelling going on,
Sure.
but it gets done. It's not ideal.
No.
Let's take you through this one. Tipping on takeout orders. I call it tipflation.
Not, but I still do it.
Begrudgingly do it. Yeah, you feel like you're forced.
I feel obligated to do it. It's presented, and I feel like, oh, I don't want to come across
think-
cheap because I'm not. But
The worst is when you're at, whether it's Starbucks or wherever, and they turn around the iPad to you and say, "Oh, it's going to ask you a few questions." I know what it's asking.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me that.
And the choices are 20, 25, or 100%.
Yeah.
Right? In the office, standing desk or no standing desk?
standing desk. My staff knows I'm tired if I'm sitting down. Otherwise, I'm standing all day.
Really? You're like Jay. He falls in that
Well,
same.
Morgan has a standing desk. I have never seen it extended up at all. He's got now a gaming chair in his office, so he's a sitter.
I think there's a mechanical problem.
The mechanical problem just can't get it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Let's go with
Journaling. So we often have business owners talking about we spend quite a time journaling future ideas, thoughts, business practices. Hot or not?
For me, not. Yeah. Other than putting some notes
Yep.
in my iPhone, that's the extent of it. But no, I don't do that.
All right, I'm going to ask a question because we're both, we have younger kids than Morgan.
Sure.
Disney or no Disney?
No Disney.
Okay.
Diggerland.
I'll have to remind my wife that it's no more Disney.
No.
All right, I got you.
Chat GPT or AI, not for professional side, but to use it for marketing or emails or note taking.
I do not.
Okay, very
Why
nice.
not?
Old school.
Old school, not.
Are you 5 a.m. club?
Not.
Not. So not working out in the morning.
Not with a 5-year-old. Yeah. No. My husband, yes. I usually will get to sleep in a little bit. I need my solid hours of sleep. Otherwise, I do not function well.
What? Okay. All right. This is out of the hot or not topic, but what's your typical bedroom routine? What time are you going to bed? What time are you waking up?
Yeah. So usually try to get the kid down between 8:30, sometimes leads to 9, depending. And then just some time to kind of relax and spend some time with Joe after that. And then if I had a very busy day, I will probably be passing out on the couch. We actually just had this conversation today about trying to incorporate some other things that don't involve TV. Because now that hockey's over, we don't really watch TV. Like, we're not into shows. We don't watch anything else really other than hockey shows. We don't really get into, other than Dexter, obviously, with my background. Yeah, we don't really watch any sort of TV shows. So now that hockey's over, it's like we need to figure out something else to do with our energy and have some sort of nighttime routine. In the morning, sun usually gets up pretty early. My husband's there to take care. And then my favorite thing in the morning is the cup of coffee. I enjoy my coffee in the morning, and I limit my coffee to 1 in the morning, and that's it.
I got this coffee at 4. This is not going to be good for me tonight. I'll tell you that. All right. So let's move on to our final segment,
Okay.
which is perfect for your attorney background. Plead the fifth.
Got it.
Now, the idea with this is we're going to ask a few questions. The first few questions are going to be a little bit easier for you to answer.
Okay.
And then I would say they're going to get a little bit more difficult. Out of these questions, you only get one. Plead the fifth.
So you're going to ask me all the questions up front so I know which one I'm pleading the fifth to?
No.
Oh, so I might use it, and I still need it for a different.
Absolutely. We'll only have one. Plead the fifth.
Sneaky. Okay.
She did say she doesn't do litigation.
I know. But she's from New York. I mean, she argues for a living, right? You can do this. All right, here we go. What's your go-to guilty pleasure snack during a long work day? This is an easy one.
During a work day. Probably fig bars.
Fig bars.
I love fig bars.
That's nice. Have you ever Googled how to run a business while running your business?
No.
Okay. Have you ever pretended to be on a business call to avoid talking to someone?
Yes.
Care to elaborate?
Nope.
Okay.
Have you ever taken credit for an idea that wasn't fully yours?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
That's good. I love the integrity there.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit.
Okay.
You ready? Okay. What's something you've done in business you'd never want your child to do?
Spend a ridiculous amount of money on law school with student loans. And going out of state, for the record, just to have the beach and palm trees near you. So that's something I would say, don't do that.
I love that.
Okay. What is the biggest financial mistake you've ever made that no one knows about?
Is this tied to my business or outside of business?
Either.
Either or.
Maybe a little bit of gambling in Atlantic City.
Nice. I like that.
A little too much gambling.
Yes.
All right. That's fair.
All right. We're coming to some final tough questions. All right. What's one thing your clients believe you do well that you really don't?
I don't know if I know the answer to that one. I know, but
No,
it's a
that's
tough
fair.
one.
That's fair. It's
This is
tough.
a tough one.
I know. It's why it's one of the last questions.
I can tell you for us,
Okay.
I think a lot of clients think I'm good at follow-up.
Okay.
The worst ever.
It got awful.
It's terrible.
Okay.
Thank God for Jay, for Justin and Elia. They handle the follow-up. I am the world's worst at it. It comes as if it's coming from me, but yeah, terrible at follow-up.
Terrible.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to plead the fifth to that because I don't have an answer.
You
to that
like
question.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's a pseudo plead the fifth. So you still have it out there.
Okay.
All right. If your company failed tomorrow, hope it never happens.
Yeah. Right tongue.
What one decision would you point to that would be the reason for that?
Probably not bringing on an associate attorney
Okay.
at this juncture because I am the one and only attorney for the firm. So if I'm not there to operate the business, there's only so much your paralegals can do to keep the business
Sure.
operating. So
Yeah.
that would probably be the reason.
Is that a concern?
No.
Not yet.
I like to hire and promote from within. So, one of my newer paralegals has hopes to go to law school. So, she's kind of someone I would want to bring on as an associate to be a part of the team. But I haven't been actively looking at this juncture, but that's the one thing that I see that could be a catalyst. If something catastrophic happened to me, then what happens to the firm?
Sure. Great. Awesome. Well, that's all we have for you did well. You did awesome.
Congratulations.
Great.
You made it through with no bloodshed.
Exactly. So let's wrap it up. Folks, again, thanks for tuning in to Behind the Frame with us here. Myself, Morgan, and Mariela. Mariela, where can everyone find you?
Sure. So I have a bit of a unique name. So just a Google of Mariela D'Alessio would be sufficient, or D'Alessio Law. That's our website. So we're located in Hunt Valley, not too far away from Jay and Morgan. And we offer services to our clients in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Florida. So we really are kind of rebranded as an estates and trust boutique firm. So that's kind of what we live and breathe. And we're here to help our clients, obviously, while alive, and then through the process in the back end to allow our clients to grieve, and then we'll help you through the legal component of administration. So,
Absolutely. Well, we certainly couldn't recommend Mariela enough. She's phenomenal. She's been phenomenal for our clients, also with our personal
Yep.
side as well. Well, that's all we got for you, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on our next episode as we interview Joe Perez from Outsiders CrossFit, owner operator here in the Hunt Valley area. Thanks so much.
Thank y'all so very much. Mariela, thank you.
of course, thanks for having me, guys.
Yep.